Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing tonight? Give a few of you the opportunity to join. We are on and popping tonight. It's going to be good. We are going to talk about how you can network yourself into procurement opportunities. So basically, one of the questions that I'm asked often is how do I network with the procurement officials, right? You've registered for sam.gov, you have everything in order, but you're stuck. You don't know what to do in order to network with the procurement officials, or you don't know your next steps. So I am Dr. Ebony Gray. I am the CEO for Gray's Consulting Group. As you know, we have the GovCon Master on and popping April the 15th. We'll be taking you through this journey of accountability of going from registering for sam.gov and all those thousands of certifications to actually applying for and executing and landing the contract. So if you want to get into the mastermind, I have provided the link. If you join our government contracting success group, you can get 50% off. So go ahead and join our group in Facebook. But again, I want all of you to join us for the GovCon Mastermind. The mastermind is designed to hold you accountable. We are going from the beginning of registering for sam.gov, helping you to register for your MBE, SBE, WBE, WOSB, VOSB, all those acronyms, all those certifications, making sure you know who to contact as far as the procurement officials, but also who to contact regarding the primes and subs so you can enter into partnership and teaming agreements. We are going to help you to develop your capability statement. We are going to help you to understand how to craft those emails when you're soliciting or unsolicited contact with the procurement officials. We are walk you through that journey of identifying where to find contracts, right? Not just for the federal government, but also for the private sector. We're talking those large corporations like Procter and Gamble, Walmart, Target, IBM, Microsoft. We are going to help you get in those doors. We are going to take your hand and guide you. So again, join us for the government contracting mastermind. You will not be disappointed. It is all about helping you to take it to the next step. So with that, let's talk about the next step. So one of the questions that I got in the group was, can you help me to register for the MBE, SBE, the state specific certifications? So I'm just going to show you just what's out, right? How to help you get through that particular part. So first things first, the MBE certification. Now, this is simple. No matter what state that you are in, you can just look for Maryland MBE certification, Maryland SBE certification, which is small business, Maryland WBE certification, which is women business enterprise. You can look up Nevada WBE or MBE or Pennsylvania. You can even look to the highest level of your state, right? So looking at this is the Maryland MBE certification. It tells you exactly what it is. It tells you who it's for: small, minority, and women-owned firms. meet the eligibility standards of the MBE program. It tells you the office, it tells you who it's a part of, the division of the Maryland Department of Transportation. It's a free certification. So the Office of Minority Business Enterprise, you see this right here? Because I want you to trust me, but verify. For everybody that's stumped, oh my gosh, I can't get through the application. The Office of Minority Business Enterprise, or OMBE, hosts a free, you hear that? A free application assistance workshop on the first Tuesday of every month. Complete details about the eligibility standards. They provide the certification process and other helpful resources. Do you see that? And this is for all of the MBE offices. Like, they do not want you just to be out here alone, but you have to take the steps. So you will have to show up Tuesday. I do not care if you need to call out of work, right? Call in sick, take a day of leave. If you are an entrepreneur only, show up to the free assistance workshop and allow them to help you step by step to fill out the application if you have questions. They also have, they tell you it's not a guarantee, right? Because they have to verify some of your information, but you can ask all of those questions. They also have MBE liaisons. You can call them, you can network with them, you can ask them for help. You see, all of this is right here on the website. And then they also have MBE links. So the certification process, the e-Maryland Marketplace, which is also called IMMA, the MBE liaisons, right? So let's click on the MBE liaisons. Like, oh my gosh, you're stuck. You don't know what to do. Guess what? You can go to the MBE liaison and just ask them questions. Look right here. They have liaisons for the different departments, right? The different reporting agencies. So maybe you want to do business with Maryland, and this is applicable for any state that you're in, right? I am not telling you anything secret. You have to be proactive, go out there and look, right, for this information so you can land the contracts. So each of these agencies within the state of Maryland has an MBE liaison that will talk to you, that will help you, that will connect you with resources, but also will connect you with opportunities. So let's just look at some of the agencies within Maryland. When people say, well, what type of business are they looking for? Ask the MBE liaison, right? Talk to the MBE liaison, connect with them, send them your capability statement, your introductory email to say, greetings, Christopher or Mr. Namier. I currently provide services for the aging citizens. I am seeking to procure contracts with your agency. Can you please tell me when you're available to meet for 30 minutes so we can have a discussion about the services I can offer to your specific agency and also any opportunities that you may have? It is that simple as far as making a connection. Part of getting the contract is just showing up, not just for yourself, but also for the agency and being informed, right? You see the agencies, you see what they're offering. So you have aging, agriculture, archives, assessments and taxation, attorney general's office, Baltimore City Community College. If you're into anything as far as teaching, instruction, maybe you're a sole source contractor, maybe you want to offer a class, Baltimore City Community College, Bowie State University, budget and management. So understand the services they provide at their specific agency, but also connect with them and ask them, right? All of these are liaison. Coppin State University, the School of Deaf, Education, Maryland Department of Education, Environmental Services, all of these departments, the liaisons are right here for you. So when you ask the question, well, how do I make the connection? Here's their phone numbers, here's their names, here's their emails. Call them, connect with them. You see IT, insurance administration, juvenile services. Maybe you have a program for the youth, labor, lottery and gaming, the Maryland State Library. Maybe you have IT, or maybe you have some books, right, that you want to sell to the library. Maybe you have a class or course, right, for employee development or childhood education. Maybe you want to read some books to the children every week. The military, Morgan State University, natural resources. So even for the colleges and universities, janitorial services, catering services, educational services, workforce development services, because they sometimes teach workforce development or like entrepreneurship programs. The police department has procurement, public television. So if you're into maybe videography or production, you can contact public television, public works, retirement. You see all the colleges, St. Mary's College, every single one of these entities has a POC. Their name is publicly listed for you to contact. You can communicate with them, send them your capability statement, tell them the services you provide, and ask to meet with them. And also ask them to put you on their distro list, because a lot of these agencies do outreach, right? They talk to the community, they do outreach amongst the community, and they tell you about the different opportunities. They offer to help you. They want to connect with you. They'll tell you to contact them. Again, how do I connect? How do I get the opportunities? You see right here. This is public information on the Maryland website. Veteran Affairs. A lot of people have the question about VA, University of Maryland, all of these MBE, Minority Business Enterprise liaisons, waiting to talk to you, wanting to help you to get into the door. So you can do this for any state that you're in. Just go ahead and connect with them. And I'll even I'm going to put it in the chat. Let's see. So here you go. It's right in the chat for you. So you can go ahead and connect with these entities. So hold on. Let's see. That is the Maryland Business Enterprise site. That is the liaisons that you can connect with, that you can talk to. And also, I will provide to you the actual MBE site. And if this is not your state, that's okay. That's if you're not in Maryland, it's okay. We can go state by state, right? Pennsylvania has the MBE site. You can look for, or I wouldn't look for just MBE because sometimes it's a different acronym, but look for Pennsylvania certifications for small businesses or Virginia certifications for small businesses. So actually, since I mentioned it, I am going to go to those sites as well. And I'm leaving the site up for a little bit so that you can see it. So here's where you would go for the MBE certification. Now with that, so let me stop sharing and I'll start sharing again. So with that, right, people say, well, how do I get my MBE certification? So I want to just show you what's available to you as well. So you go to m.maryland.gov and you select the tab. I need to show you, right, just how awesome the Maryland's business site is. So this is for the people that may be starting in business and you're just trying to figure it out. Let me just show you this website real quick. So this is for those that are just getting started, just trying to figure it out, right? So this is the Maryland Business Express website. And starting from the beginning, plan, create a business, find business funding. Isn't that a question that most people have? How do I find funding? Pick a location, choose a business structure, select a name, research license and permit, plan to register your business right there. Start your business, register your business, obtain the federal tax ID, file the required federal beneficial ownership information report, apply for Maryland tax accounts, obtain licenses or permits, purchase business insurance, purchase health insurance. So it has all of that right there for you. Then if you need to manage your business, maintain a good standing in business, maintain license and permits, pay your business taxes, order copies of your business documents. So when you're applying for government contracting, right, you need to make sure you have your articles of incorporation. You can order those if you can't find them. You can make changes to your business, like your address, your phone number. You can make changes if you need to close your business. Then, when you talk about growing your business, so this is where we want to be, right? Workforce development, funding incentives, location, international expansion. Maybe you want to do business internationally. Small minority and woman owned, veteran owned businesses, networking and support. But here's where we care about, right? Government contracting. So it's right here on the Maryland Business Express website. So let's click on government contracting. So then when you see government contracting, it gives you all the. So this is what I emphasize every time. Find federal government contracting opportunities, sam.gov. The Maryland Department of Commerce has a directory of profiles for federal agencies with headquarters or major operations in Maryland. So you ask the question, well, how do I get in contact with the agencies, right? So let's click on this. It's telling us what it is. It's a directory. So if you wanted to know all the different federal contracting profiles, facility overview, the Maryland facilities, the branches and contacts is right here. You can search for it, easy for you just to find, like if maybe there's a specific agency, it's all right here. So that's right from the Maryland Business Express page. So again, you just go to their website. Let me copy and put the website in my chat so that way you can get to it. Try to make it as easy as possible for you so that way you can connect. That's the Maryland e-commerce websites of different procurement agencies, and you can see what's going on in Maryland. Okay, let me stop screen because I want to show you other states, right? So let's say I just showed you Maryland, but let's say you want to do business in Virginia procurement certification. I don't know anything about Virginia. I'm pretending, right? So I just typed in Virginia procurement certifications. Now, some suggested Google searches is Virginia State Procurement Guidelines or VA procurement process. So it's telling you even what to search for if you didn't know. For Virginia, for the states of Virginia, which is right next to us, right in Maryland. So one of the first things that comes up is the PTAC, right? Your procurement, SWIM, micro business. So that's important because that's one of the places that can help you if you had questions for procurement. Let's see. So what I am going to select is virginia.gov and certification. So let's see. Let me share this so you can see. It's taking a while to load. Technology sometimes it's not your friend. Okay. So you see, this is the small business and supplier diversity for Virginia. It basically has all the information. So everything about certification, It tells you about the certification division. Now you see how Maryland had the MBE. So now mention Virginia has the small, women-owned, and minority-owned businesses. SWAM, WAM. They have disadvantaged business enterprises, and they have employment services organizations. They're certified to participate in Virginia's specialized procurement and contracting opportunities. So you see, it's a different certification. So when you just say like MBE, that's not necessarily applicable in Virginia. Virginia, instead of MBE, which is minority business enterprise, or WB, which is women business enterprise, or SBE, which is small business enterprise, they incorporated it all together, which is small, woman-owned, and minority-owned businesses, aka SWAM, SWAM, DBE, disadvantaged business enterprise, and they have employment services organizations. This particular division in Virginia provides certifications for SWAM, DBE, ESO, and also add another one, service disabled veteran-owned businesses. In addition, the division also provides specialized management and technical assistance to DBE firms participating in projects funded by the U.S. Department of Transportation. So you see, this is another free entity to help you with your certification. So if you've been sitting there in Virginia, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, I'm overwhelmed, you can go right to this particular department to help you get certified. Now you can just apply now, or you can go to this department, ask for help, ask for the assistance in order to get certified. And they have all the resources. So you see, they have the information about each of the certifications. They have important certification forms, the Virginia Small Business Financing Authority, the Business Development and Outreach Services. Let's go, because again, you want help, right? You want assistance. You've been stuck. You don't know what to do. You go to the Business Development and Outreach Services. They provide assistance through the Business Development and Outreach Services. They support the economic development in Virginia, aspiring entrepreneurs and small businesses, and they offer training to you. So you can go to the recorded trainings, like if maybe you want to see past trainings, you can go to the events, scaling for growth if you want to grow. And they also have the business one stop, all there to help you, all for free. So any state that you are in, you can go to these particular entities. So some entities, these sba.gov/resources, score.org for a mentor, your small business development centers, which provide assistance to you, and then organizations like this, the Business Development and Outreach Services, or Maryland Business Opportunity Centers. You have free resources and help to help you and walk you step by step through these journeys, to include the government contract, or just business growth and development, or the number one pain point, right? Business financing. Like, where can you find finances and resources to help you? One question that I get asked is, well, how do maybe the government contract officials find you outside of sam.gov, but also how do you connect and find other businesses? So one entity, let's see, I brought it up in advance for you. It's through the SBA. So once you get registered in sam.gov, there's another entity that you need to register for. So let me pull it back up. Oh man, I got kicked out of my own live stream. See how StreamYard does me? What I was saying before StreamYard removed me, is one place to get listed is the SBA Small Business Dynamic System. So I am going to hopefully screen share. Let's see. Let's see if it'll let me share. Man, my computer is giving me the blues to. It must be something about that. Okay, let's try one more time. It is taking its time. So what I'll do is I will put it in the chat so that way you all can have it. But again, this is from the SBA. Register your business in the Dynamic Small Business DSBS acronym. The SBA has all of the contracting officials and small businesses are located in the Dynamic Small Business Search. So you'll be able to basically it helps the contract of you determine set aside or sole source allocation. You're able to search for contractors and for open and upcoming. So this is addition to sam.gov. So if you can see my screen, so this is again small business and procurement. This is a database for the SBA. You can find small business vendors. So if you're looking for people to partner with, looking for people with certain certifications, this is a great way to do it. You can look at the different agency contracting so you can see, where they're going. Again, you can find contractors, so dynamic small business search, so you can find different contractors. This can be part of your market research. And you can also learn about like procurement opportunities, the different size standards, the non-manufacturer rule. So get additional information from here. Office of Government Contracting and Small Business. My computer is going crazy right now, so I guess it's closing now. Hold on, let me make sure that I give you guys this link though before I go. That's the one thing about technology is sometimes it will fail you, and you just have to keep moving. So that's the SBA. It says partners, contracting official, and small business procurement. So that's when you ask, like, wait a minute, how do I find procurement officials? How do I find partners? You can look right in there. And if you're not registered, so that's one thing. I'm not even sure. Sam.gov tells you to register, but I know even when I personally went through the process, the link didn't work. So you need to register for this database because you want people to be able to find you. So not only will people find you in sam.gov, but also from the SBA database. It's just a good way to partner, connect, to do. So if you're looking for maybe teaming partners or sole source or primes, you can find them in that database, but you also want people to find you as well, right? So again, go to that database, make sure that you register yourself. That is so important. And when you're connecting, it's okay to connect with people. One thing you can do, of course, is show up. So when you talk about, well, how do I get the contracts? Show up for like those info sessions, the agency matchmaking sessions, but also when you're contacting like potential partners, just send them an email, send them your capability statement and connect with them. Tell them, you're a SBE, MBE, or maybe you're searching for their particular type business, right? Or certifications. You're looking to partner and let them know like what type of capabilities you have, like what you have to offer. So that's a good way to connect, as well as, again, government agencies can seek you out because maybe they're looking for like businesses with certain certifications or certain skill sets. So they'll go to these databases to look, source you out, to connect with you. And let me see, I'm going to go to my different entities and just see if you have any questions. 1 second. So I do try to respond real time. With StreamYard, sometimes you don't see, like sometimes it'll say like Facebook user. So I won't be able to see who you are, but that's okay. So if you can, of course, make sure you provide your name. But for the most part, I think, let me make sure. Have I answered all your questions? So with the GovCon Mastermind, right, I do want to emphasize this. We'll be taking it step by step. So it'll be very personalized, like one-on-one, where we're walking you through the journey to understand like post sam.gov what certifications you need to pursue and help walk you through that journey. Also, we'll be walking through that strategy, right, of how you can connect to different contract procurement officials as well as potential partners, providing you with like all the tools and resources, whether it's the emails, the templates to include your capability statement template, um, your RFP template, where I most want you guys to go, your sources sought template as far as how you respond to the sources sought. Also, how to set up your specific searches relevant to your business. So if you have not already signed up for our GovCon Mastermind, I do want to make sure that we give you the opportunity. Also, we're posting it to the top, right? Starring it. You. And the whole purpose is really for you to win. We want you to win contracts. Like, not only does it make me feel good, right? It should make you feel good. And I know you're all trying to build that generational wealth. I know I've had questions about like the program, like, man, apply for an 8A program. Sure. It depends on where you are though in government contracting. I would say don't be so hasty and try to register and apply before you get contracts, because the whole purpose is to help you get in the door, to help you get the contracts. And if you do it too early, right? Not that it's a waste, but it may not be the right time. You may need to wait that additional year until you get more secure or until you have those guaranteed contracts. But really, I always say trust but verify. Go to the info sessions, call the SBA, see if it's a good fit or opportunity. So don't discount yourself, but I just want you to know the whole purpose, right? And understand only one person from your family can apply. So if multiple people in your family have government contracts in your household, consider that as well. So let's see. What else do I want to show you? Oh, the actual requirements. So that's one thing. A lot of people seem to be in a chokehold when it comes to completing the MBE application. So I already showed you that there's help for you, but let's go through this as far as what's required, right, in the MBE application. And first of all, that's another question where people ask, do I have like a time requirement? No, there's no time requirement. I'm gonna show you exactly what's checklist so you can understand. And the big things I would say, the heavy lift for you is to get all the documentation together, right? So go through the checklist step by step. Let's see. See if there's an easy way. It's never an easy way to get to things. So that is another thing. So I would say Maryland MBE checklist. I would just Google that just to find it. But you can go to the Maryland.gov website. You can look for MBE. You can look for a certification. But for me, I just Google Maryland MBE certification checklist. And it's the first thing that comes up. So, and it's the Maryland.gov website. So you know it's legit, right? Okay. Let's see. Made me to invest in a new computer. I think my next investment for next month is going to be to get me MacBook, another MacBook. I have about 20 computers here. It is not acting nice. So let's see if it's going to come up. It is a PDF. So it says document checklist or the Maryland MBE checklist. It's a PDF that Maryland has uploaded to the file. Okay, it finally came up. So let's look at the checklist when you talk about, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? So, first of all, certification application. So, complete and notarize affidavit of certification or statement of disadvantage for all applicants claiming disadvantage status. So, on the checklist, they actually, provide you that affidavit saying that you are a disadvantaged business. You need a copy of your firm's official articles of organization. So that would be like your of organization or articles of incorporation that were issued by the state. So Maryland be issued by the state of Maryland, DC issued by DC, Virginia, etc. Also, you need a copy of original and amended operating agreement. So when you're registering your business, or like you can Google operating agreement so you can get a template, or of course, some businesses, especially if you file with, let's say, like LegalZoom or one of those entities, they actually do the operating agreement for you. So that's important. You need a certificate of good standing. So that's another thing. Pay your taxes, right? Pay your property taxes. Make sure you file all the paperwork applicable for your state. So you would need a certificate of good standing from the Maryland Department of Assessments. And it gives you the website in order to obtain that certificate of good standing and print it out. You need meeting minutes, depending on the type of business that you have. So again, you can incorporate those meeting minutes, right? Type them up, the time, the date, who attended, based on, again, the type of entity that you have. You need the stock ledger or list of members and stock certificates. Again, that depends on the type of business entity you have. So if applicable, if not, just provide your list of members. You need documented proof of contributions. So used to acquire ownership, showing that the owner paid for the value of his or her interest in the business or in some way invested personal funds into the business. So that's another thing. If sole proprietor, right, that would be just you documenting what you provided to the business. But if you have partners, that's important, right? For that 51-49% partnership, you need to make sure that your receipts and your funding are validating that. So acceptable proof includes both sides of counsel checks or receipts. If unavailable and the firm is more than 5 years old, a signed and notarized statement describing the personal investment may be acceptable. So again, if you can't go back, if you're a brand new business, you should have the receipts, right? So think about that, especially if you're just getting started. Make sure you document your investment into the business. Any type of checks, that's why it's important, right, to write those checks, or um, whether you transfer money, make sure you have that documentation as far as how much you contributed to the business, because they're tracking that. So this is a good catch, right, for those businesses that are just getting started. But if you've been in business for a while, that signed, notarized document describing your investments is also okay. You see this here? Resumes. Those resumes never go away, right? Resumes of all owners, all officers, all directors, all key employees must be detailed in chronological order and include places of ownership, employment with corresponding dates. So that's important. It's not your day to day work resume, okay? This is your business resume. So for me, it will be, right, I'm the CEO of Grace Consulting Group. Perhaps I would include some of my personal, right, employment, because it's applicable to what I do, whether it's cybersecurity, AI, policy. Of course, I'm trying to shine. Maybe I am a cybersecurity professional, so maybe I have certifications like certified ethical hacker, software license management, CISSP. Of course, I'm putting all that on my resume because I want that to be known. That can be applicable sometimes when you're pursuing contracts. You may have to provide your resume if they ask you, right? Also, if it's applicable, right, to the services that you're offering. But for this certification, yes, you have to provide a resume, but this is your business resume. So you want to focus on the business and those attributes for the business, as well as like any type of employee. Like if you have staff or employees, you will provide their resume. Proof of US citizenship. So that would be your passport, your permanent resident card, certificate of naturalization, or birth certificate and government issued identification. For example, your driver's license. So again, they're trying to validate that you are in fact a US citizen. that is important for your MBE. And again, depending on your state, make sure you look at the requirements because each state may have different requirements. This is for the Maryland Minority Business Enterprise. This is what they require. Also, your personal financial net worth statement. What is that, right? For all minority owners, 51% minority ownership. It must be on an M.dot form signed, dated, and notarized with all supporting documents. So with this particular form, so you need to make sure you fill out the form as applicable and make sure that you get it notarized. What this is doing is, in order to be a minority business enterprise, right, you have to be under a certain income threshold. They are not trying to get you, they are not the IRS. They're just looking at your income to make sure you're not a multi-millionaire claiming to be a disadvantaged business. So there is certain income thresholds in order to be an MBE. So you need to go through it. And again, don't get overwhelmed. Just go through this step by step. And as I showed you earlier, they have info sessions every Tuesday. So if you get stuck, you can go to the MBE info sessions and just allow them to answer the questions for you. It's okay. Everybody has questions, right? That is perfectly fine. Plus, they have liaisons that can potentially help you as well. You also need to complete a copy of your personal federal tax return. So this is where I think the rumor, right? Oh my gosh, I have to be in business for a certain amount of time. So let's get into it. Let's read this line by line so you clearly understand. Number 12, complete a personal federal tax return. Complete copy of personal federal tax returns for the past 3 years for each owner constituting 51% ownership with signature and date. Include all schedules. Remove state tax returns. So don't include your state tax returns. This is federal. 13, complete copy of federal tax returns for the past 5 years with the signature and date. Include all schedules. If providing a Schedule C from the 1040 for business taxes, provide taxes for the past 5 years. Include taxes for all other businesses owned by the applicant. Remove state tax returns. So that's it. They want the past 3 years and the past 5 years. If you don't have the past 5 years, you will need to provide your personal tax returns up to that time. Because again, if your business has only been in operation, let's say for the past year, you wouldn't have 5 years past tax returns. And I believe it's addressed a little bit further down. So year-end financial statements of the business for the past 3 years or life of the firm, if less than 3 years. So again, it's okay. If less than 3 years, it says or life of the firm. So if it's 1 year old, 2 year old, provide your end of year financial statements for that applicable time. A new business must provide a current financial statement. So again, if you're brand new, maybe you're a month old, you need to provide a current financial statement. Non-CPA statements are acceptable. So if you don't have a CPA, like maybe you got QuickBooks or Square or some other financial entity, you can provide that. So copy of the firm's quarterly state unemployment tax wage report for the last 4 quarters. That's if applicable, right? If you have employees. Businesses less than 1 year old are encouraged but not required to submit a business plan. So if you're less than 1 year, go on, type up that business plan. You can use ChatGPT, right, to help you out. Just make sure you give applicable things for your business. So let's say, let's see. Maybe your business name, where you're located, who you serve, right? You can talk about your revenue sources. You can talk about your projected financials. Put all that in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to draft a business plan for you and just make sure that it makes sense and that it's applicable to your business. Copy of home state MBE, DBE, AC, DBE, WE certification for non-Maryland firms only. So if maybe you have other certifications in a different state, you need to provide that copy. Any professional, like maybe if you're a licensed clinical social worker, or maybe if you're doing construction, you may require, right, certain certifications and licenses. So make sure you're aware and you know, and that you provide those applicable licenses and permits. Your bank signature authorization. All of you should have a business bank account. This is important. Separate your business from your personal. So make sure that you have that signed bank signature authorization to include everyone that's on that business bank account. Also, any type of agreements that you have, maybe a building or an office space, any type of loans that you may have, make sure that you provide those agreements. Any type list of equipment. So you may or may not, some of this may not be applicable to you, right? If you don't have any equipment, but if you do, make sure that you list that out. Copy of your vehicle titles or registration and current insurance policy for all vehicles used by the business. So if you're claiming that vehicle for your business, you need to make sure that you provide the documentation. If not, it's not applicable. Copies of 3 job contracts, if applicable. So if you have any contracts, maybe you're already doing contract work, you can provide that. But if not, it's not applicable. And then any trust agreements held by any owner claiming disadvantaged status. So I want to let me look and see if there's a current one, because I believe there's another copy of this MBE. So let's look at a copy of Virginia. Let's see what Virginia is asking. Now for Virginia, I'm gonna look for the SWAM. So Virginia SWAM checklist. Oh man, their first page says page not found. One, and make sure even for your own business website that you check every so often to make sure your links are working on your website. So that way people can actually get to it, right? It's not worse than people trying to get to your web or trying to get to information and they can't get to it. Let's see, are they going to make this easy? Okay, so I found it. Requirements for the SWAM. So remember, it's Virginia for small women, minority owned businesses. So let's see. I just want to show you the difference because it's probably going to be a little different for Virginia versus Maryland. Let's see. Computer being slow again. Okay. So this one, just a plain PDF document listing out the documents required for all certification applicants for small, women, and minority certification for Virginia. So proof of citizenship, they want your driver's license or your US passport, birth certificate, permanent resident card, or certificate of naturalization. You see, they spell it out for you. That's one. Number two, a complete copy of your federal business tax return from the most recent year and first page of the previous 2 years. So you see how that's a little different than what Maryland requests. They also, for sole proprietors and single member LLCs that file must send a complete copy of their federal personal tax return from the most recent year and a first page from the previous 2 years. They want the first page of a Form 941, employer's quarterly federal tax return for the most recent 4 quarters of the firm applying for certification and its affiliates. If the firm has no employees, submit a letter signed and dated by the owner stating that. So if you have no employees, you just need it signed by you or whoever the owner is. Documented proof of contribution. So you see how this is a common theme. If you haven't been tracking how much you've been investing in your business, you need to start right now, immediately, so you can show how much you've invested of your personal funds into the business for you and any partners. Acceptable proof includes both sides of canceled checks or receipts. So you need to be giving yourself receipts when you're investing in your business, so that way you're tracking. So I think this is probably a weak area for many businesses. And again, if unavailable and the firm is more than 5 years old, a signed statement describing the personal investment may be acceptable. Again, they want your resumes. So get those resumes together for your business. Create a business resume with detailed and chronological order and include places of ownership, employment with corresponding dates. So you can include the year your business was established, right? The year you owned any additional businesses, and plus employment with the corresponding dates. Any copies of professional licenses and permits held by any of the business owners in the areas for which you want to work. So Virginia may have certain certification requirements. Additional required documents for corporations: certificate of incorporation, articles of incorporation, corporate bylaws, minutes from most recent board directors, both sides of stock certificates and stock ledger. So it depends on your type of business. So you see corporations, they want all of that, right? You need the minutes, the bylaws, all of that. For your LLC, you just need certificate of organization or existence and formation, your articles of organization, and your operating agreement. So the threshold is a little bit lower, right? For LLC. For sole proprietorship, you just need your business license and certificate of assumed or fictitious name. Additional required documents for franchises, you need the franchise agreement. Required for partnerships, you need the partnership agreement. For a new business, you need your EIN. So you see, it's a little different than Maryland, but this is very self-explanatory as far as what you need. So again, you don't have to be overwhelmed. You can always go to their small business development center to help you, or they have economic development centers like for Alexandria or Arlington. all of those entities will help you. Score.org, um, .gov/resources. You can look for resources around you to help you with this. But as you can see, it's simple. Just go step by step and provide what they ask you. So Virginia's is a lot more easier to understand. So you can look for like your checklist, right, for the certifications and just get all the material, everything they're asking, put into a nice, neat folder and go step by step, gather it together. I think the biggest gap, get those tax documents together and also get those financial documents together to be able to say how much you've contributed to the business. So I hope that I answered some of your questions for tonight. Thank you so much for everybody watching, whether tonight or later. I'm going to put some of these links into each of the chats so that way you can have it. And again, thank you so much. I appreciate all of your time tonight, and I hope you have a good evening. Please sign up for our Government Contracting Success Mastermind. I'll put the link in the chat as well so you can sign up, because we are going to walk you through these journeys so you don't have to walk alone. So it is a great deal, great price. We'll be working together for 6 months to get you from the point of registering for SAM.gov and all these procurement sites to the point of actually going after, applying for, submitting for a government contract. So again, thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for joining me tonight. And I will see you next week.